yo. First up, here's the host, Efren, explaining knowledge that's applying, never guessing. Next in line is Zach, the stats king. To call you out, cross you over, it's a sure thing. Higher cheddar, no one better, crazy knowledge. On point, talking pros down to college. Jackie Jack on the grind, he'll never tire. Youngest buck on the show, he brings the fire. Never slip, keep your grip, Tico's in the booth. He's the drip, Tico's lit, always spits the truth. Finally, it's me, it's KG. Piling stats, spitting fast, daily. The Sports Shed, the Sports Shed. The Sports Shed, the Sports Shed.
Welcome to another episode of the Sports Shed podcast. And as the intro says, I am your host, Efren. To my immediate right is Zachary. And way at the bottom there is Keith, the gentleman with the beat and the lyrics. How's it going, fellas?
What's going on?
Pretty good.
Listen, man, I just got to admit, and that Yankee thing, bro, is still throwing me off, man. I'm not trying to rehash, and I'm just make this real short and quick. How quickly it is, I can't tell you, but bro, it really is throwing me off, man. I'm just saying.
I look good.
Ever since youth came out, any words from family, friends, reactions, texts, postings, anything?
Nope.
Man,
Nope.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Keith. I say that because are they disgusted with you?
Well, no, my friend,
Aren't most of them Yankee
my friend Jesse Cohen, who we used to go back and forth, when I was the fake fan.
He said I was a fake fan.
He welcomed me with open arms, but then he also said I might be a mook because the Yankees had lost how many games?
Wow.
But
I mean, I know they've lost. I believe actually they've lost. Has it been back-to-back shutouts?
no, they won today.
Oh, they won today. All right. Well, so they took one. So we're trying to be now. We got to follow the Yankees because we need to take one. But
When I made the switch, they went like 12-2. So they didn't start off on a losing streak. That's just more recent.
but I'm going by when you told me. I think since you've told me they haven't won a game up, I believe up until today. So I'm just hoping you're not jinxing me with your newly crowned new team.
You're correct.
That leads into what I'm about to talk about because
God.
you are the one that jinked the Mets. You had to come on here and start talking all this hi-ho about the Mets pitching staff, where they proceed to give up 7, 8, and 9 runs to the Rays, and then back-to-back 5 runs to the Braves. So that is on you, sir.
I did say it's still early in the season. I'm not expecting this to last. Also, I did add that for the record. I agree with you. I'm agreeing. Just let's remember. Let's add that a little bit more to the story. That's all I'm asking. But you are correct, unfortunately. So, with that being said, we'll start off in the majors with the news and all. Both New York clubs are in a bit of a bad stretch. The Yankees ended it today with a win, but with the Mets, they've lost 5 in a row. It's like Zach said. For the most part, I think it's been the starting pitching outside of Tyler McGill that has at least been able to hold Atlanta and the Tampa Bay Rays, so to speak, to some degree. A couple of the games, maybe 3, has been by the bullpen, which has been outstanding all season. But number one, they ran into a Tampa Bay Rays team that are leading the league in innings pitched per start by a starter, 5.7, I believe. Since the end of May, actually, no, either since the end of May or beginning of May, I keep forgetting where. They lead the majors in runs scored. So you just ran into a buzzsaw. That's all that happens with the Mets. But it doesn't help going down to Atlanta, losing the first 2 games in the way they did, especially when they had a 4-1 lead in one of the games, and our bullpen gives it up. That has been our strength, along with our starting rotation. But the bullpen has faltered a little bit. What do you think, Zach?
They just gotta, just like earlier in the season, come together, play as a team. I watched a little bit of the SNY. I think after that um, Braves game that they blew the 4-1 lead, and how um, Alvarez he's kind of going away from like blocking the ball, and he's just trying to glove scoop it. They were talking about a little bit. So hopefully he'll get back to blocking. But just as a team, I mean, everybody's gonna have these stretches. You just gotta pull together and just try and get back on the winning track on the winning track. But still a lot
I
of
mean,
baseball left.
yeah, I mean, but they've been talking about Alvarez being sent down to the minors. I mean, that's how bad it's been for him. Luis Turin has just been a godsend to us. I mean, granted, I believe we still lead the majors in throwing out base leaders, which nowadays is a lot easier to steal bases due to having to be able to only throw it 2 times over. The third time, you better get them. So again, like you said, we're in a bit of a stretch. We're still in first place, granted by 1 game up against Philly. The Yankees are also still in first place. It's just one of those where you just start talking and asking whether or not, okay, is this going to be how it's going to be for the rest of the season? I don't think so. Because Sanger's down. Our hitting is starting to pick up. We're hitting consistently. We're running into a buzzsaw again, but
We're not even really
everybody.
hitting, honestly.
So I mean, but other than that,
I don't know.
I'm not saying I'm panicking. I'm not, but they got to at least pull one out of Atlanta. So
I mean, at least with Torrens, like he's he's better defensively,
Mhm.
and if Alvarez isn't going to contribute offensively, then it's like, I mean, it makes sense to send him down, try to get him on a little roll before coming back up. But yeah, no, they really haven't hit, honestly, all year. It's just been, our pitching has been stellar, and now that we've been kind of getting rocked, it's kind of coming back to bite us because we really haven't.
I'm real quick before I ask Keith whether he was, want to contribute the Mets or move on to the Yankees. But just real quick though, there has been, I don't want to say mention, but everybody obviously up for speculation as the Texas Rangers. I'm not saying they're falling off, but as they start to kind of beginning to dwindle down in the standings little by little, there's been thoughts of bringing back DeGrom. I think he has 75. He signed a large contract and he's still owed 75 million. I don't know, by today's standards, that seems like chump change for these owners. Whatever the contract remains, I think 2 or 3 years, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I have no problems bringing our boy back home. So, Keith, I just want to say to you that ever since you have come out in the open as a Yankee fan, today marked, I believe, the first win for me. When you came out on the show, being a Yankee fan, today was the first win for the Yankees. But I know you have different thoughts on that. But how do you see the Yankees doing so far, even though they're hitting at a little bit of a stride there?
Well, with Tampa Bay sweeping you guys and us losing, now we only got a 2-game lead on them.
My bad, by the way, my bad.
But like your problems are like the total reversal of the Yankees' problems. We can't hit, right. Today we did, but that's been the problem the last on the losing streak that they just had. They couldn't hit the ball. I think Judge struck out. I don't know how many times he struck out in the last 6 games.
I mean, in the Boston series, he struck out 9 times, didn't he?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
in the Angels series, first 2 games, I think he probably about 2 to 3 in that series too so far. He's given them a little spark.
I haven't seen Judge's number. I haven't seen him hit, but if he's striking out that much, that means he's swinging and missing a lot of junk, not fastballs.
He's getting fooled on off-speed pitches. He's way ahead of it.
I mean, look, we all know he wasn't going to hit 400 for the most part. We know he's not going to hit 390. He's not going to hit 380. Realistically, more like around 340, between 340 and 360 at this point. That's the realistic range for him as far as capping the max in the batting average. He's going to hit to the home runs and RBIs. So again, it's just everybody is all panicking because both New York teams are hitting a bit of a stride at the same time, and I'm not even going to worry about that. So,
I'm not worried.
I'm not. How about this? I'll work. Look, 3 game set, 3 game set in Atlanta, 3 game set against Philly, and then a 4 game set back home against Atlanta. That's 10 games, a 10 game stretch. That's 0-2. So
Mm.
talk to me when that 10 game stretch is over. Then I'll let you know whether I'm happy or not.
Yeah.
So
After Sunday, we'll probably be on a 4-game winning streak because we got Baltimore coming up.
don't play to their level.
Yeah,
Just
true.
remember that. I mean, it's funny though, because the next topic is really when your former team, Rafael Devers, gets traded to the San Francisco Giants after refusing to move from third base. And now all of a sudden he gets traded and he says, wherever and whatever the Giants want me to do, I'm going to do it. I kid you not.
He said,
So-
"I'll be the
so-
bat boy."
So what that tells me is, and I'm gonna ask you the point blank, Keith. That sounded personal to me. So there had to be a rift somewhere, because if you're willing to change to a new team and willing to do whatever it takes, new position or what have you, why wouldn't you do it for the Red Sox?
Well, I saw an interview today with Pedro Martinez. He was on a podcast and he was asked the question about Rafael. He said that David Ortiz reached out to him and he never returned his phone calls. So like there was people trying to reach out to him to try to like, smooth things out. But I think Devers just thought, this is my team. I'm the star on the team. And there was probably a lot of ego involved in that. Him saying, I'm not going to play this position. I'm not going to do that. That's just what I think, because now all of a sudden you got traded and now you're going to play wherever they need you to play. And it was probably a dig too at the
That
Red
boy's
Sox.
trolling. He's just trolling.
Yeah,
He's just
exactly.
trying to piss people off. I mean, I'm going to say it. He's just trolling a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to piss people off,
Mm-hmm.
I think it worked, if you want to know the truth. But
But yeah, I seen some picture of like the players the Red Sox got back for trading, like I think it was like Mookie Betts, Chris Sale, and Rafael Devers, and it's just like chump change. It's like that's
everyone
been
in
pretty bad.
return, I mean, one, I'm gonna say an okay player, but overall, that is a truly complete bust.
The one
That's what
okay
it
player
did.
was Alex Verdugo, and he's not even on the team anymore.
No.
Right. Complete bust in all 3 trades. That's all I'm gonna say, man. But then, and then around the same time, or the day of, or I think the day after, I forget, Otani comes back and is using, man, this guy's a different breed, because he comes back, he's going to start clearly 1 pitch, but he's using the majors as his rehab. Normal players would get sent to the minors, whether offensive player or a pitcher. They usually will get sent to the minors, and will, whatever the amount of games they can rehab or need to rehab, whatever the case may be. This dude, on the other hand, says, nah, I'm gonna stay up here and I'm gonna rehab, which makes perfect sense. Because if you no, go ahead, Zach.
I was gonna say, I think the situation's a little bit different from the fact that he doesn't just pitch or just doesn't just hit. That like he only pitched an inning, and I think that was because they're still gonna have him bat. So it's like obviously he's your best hitter. So
Oh no, and I was gonna get to that as well. Yeah, no, eventually.
I don't think it's more like, oh yeah, you're just gonna rehab in the majors. I think it's more like, look, we'll give you an inning, but we still need you to bat. I think that's more
no, and I knew he was gonna stay. I'm just saying it's just unusual that his situation is just unusual, where even by default, one can say that by default he's actually staying in the majors to rehab. I'm just saying that it's just not something you hear on an everyday basis. And the guy pitched 1 inning, I believe allowed 2 runs. His first 4 pitches were strikes. And his record is actually his ERA, his career ERA is actually 2.81, averaging, I believe, almost close to 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. So it's not like the guy is a slouch, man. That's the
That
crazy part.
that was before his injury, though, right?
Right, because I don't think he hasn't pitched since the injury, but all the stats that I mentioned that I'm aware of, and he's way
He
over
hasn't
500
pitched.
before the injury.
He hasn't pitched since 2023.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
didn't pitch at all last year.
you
That
might
was his
want to
recovery.
just give up pitching. If you injure yourself again, then you're going to take yourself out of hitting.
Well, actually, he got hurt pitching in 2024, but he was still batting all
Yeah.
season. So it really depends, like
Like,
what
what
you
did he?
hurt.
What was his injury?
I don't know. He literally couldn't throw for the 2024 season, but he was
Yeah.
batting. So it really
could-
depends what you hurt, because apparently you can still bat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
I don't recall what he
remember.
was injured. Yeah, I don't recall what he was injured, but I do remember that he got hurt while he was pitching, or when it was a pitching injury, I should say. And then he just stayed in the majors
still
and just continue winning MVPs. That's all I could. That's all I remember.
Was the MVP last season?
He was.
He was hurt. He was hurt to the point where he couldn't pitch, but he was like, "Yeah, I'm still going to win MVP."
Right.
He's recovery
Okay.
from 2024 from pitching,
And-
but during the process,
and
he ends
it-
up winning the MVP.
And an earlier, like,
that good.
yeah, and in an earlier podcast, like months ago, this is why I made the case with Zach. I was like, you can say Judge is the best hitter, but like as a pure baseball player, like it's Ohtani, from the simple fact that he is an ace of a pitcher, and he's an MVP, like slugger, just hitting. He's an MVP. So now you throw in pitching, it's like, I mean, I don't know how you can't say this guy isn't the best in baseball.
Right.
Hey, has he won a Cy Young yet?
I don't think so, but a big reason is because he hasn't really pitched that often.
Yeah, he doesn't.
But,
Doesn't he pitch like? Isn't he like on a once every 6 days or once a week or something like that?
No, I still think it's 5. It's just that he's been hurt. Like he doesn't like pitch all that. And then obviously, like, I mean, you have other AL pitchers. Like I think maybe Cole won a Cy Young or something one of the years he pitched. I mean, you could just look it
Yeah,
up.
that's right.
but, I
Jared
mean,
Cole did. That's right.
There are some stellar ones, some stellar players.
He
that had
he
some great
finished
seasons.
4th in the American League Cy Young voting in 2022.
And that's
The
it.
year before his
Like,
injury. Look, as far as like the ultimate, the best athlete player versus MVP caliber type player, I'm not going to disagree. I don't think anybody would with Ohtani over Aaron Judge, and that says a lot considering what Aaron Judge has done and is doing.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. But when you throw in pitching, that's just a different level right now, to the point where he's in his own stratosphere. Put it this way: the only person he can have a conversation with is Travis Hunter. That's about it.
Well, we'll see how Trevor Hunter does.
Exactly. So moving on into the NBA right now. There's a few things developing in regards to first we'll talk about Durant's destination. He has 3 preferences right now, which is Miami Heat, San Antonio, and the Houston Rockets. Real quick, make your case for which team. Now again, sources say that those are his preferred teams. So make the case which team you think he fits, where he can win additional titles.
What were the
Either
teams
one.
again?
Miami, Spurs, and the Rockets.
I mean, just considering the teams you've listed, I mean, the Rockets were the best of those teams.
It's not happening with Miami.
But I mean, obviously as a 2 seed, I think Durant would, at least for like the next few years, he'd be that star player they're kind of missing. Like with the Thunder and the Rockets, they're both a young team. They both play defense. The Thunder obviously have a little bit better shooting, but they have SGA. They have that MVP caliber player, whereas like the Rockets don't. Like their best player is Sengun. Jalen Green. I mean, obviously you bring in Durant. Like, I think that if you look at the other teams, like that's the, you know, I would say the best spot for him to win.
Keys, what's your argument?
I think if he's smart, he just surprises everybody, and Celtics get a deal done.
My man
Yeah.
said, no. Keith basically said, I'm going to answer your question, but I'm not going to give you the answer you expect. Please proceed, Keith.
Me and Zach were just talking about this when you were on your break before we joined or before we went live. We were talking about Porzingis, Holiday.
Maybe Sam.
We were thinking like Pritchard, but then we're like, we don't want to give up Pritchard. Maybe Zach said
like a Sam Hauser. And
Hauser.
like I could understand maybe like a couple first round picks, and then maybe they got to throw in a player just for money purposes.
Anybody knows what KD's salary is next year?
I mean, it's probably 50 mil, but like
Okay.
Porzingis and Drew would both make, I think, 30, and then Hauser probably makes like 10.
No. Porzingis is 22, and I believe Drew Holiday signed, I believe, a 3-year. I want to say 133.
So yeah, I mean, it's just
4
like
years, 133. So
Dan, just in
between
case
those
they
two, they
wanted-
would make up the money.
49.
Well, I'm just saying, just in case they wanted more.
Of course. Because
But
they're
then,
going to throw something in with Durant probably and some picks and things like that. But go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead, Keith.
I was 49.86 million is what Durant's making in this year.
Okay. But go ahead. What was at the end of the day, what's your final trade assessment for Durant by the Celtics?
But I mean, who would you prefer shooting threes, shooting mid ranges, taking clutch shots if needed? Not Porzingis, not in my opinion, not taking KD all day. Plus, yeah, he's older now, but in our system, what they ask for our centers to do, besides when Cornette's in the game, he actually plays like a typical center. But when Porzingis is in the game, he's not playing the 5 spot like the 5 spot's supposed to be played. He's out on the wing like every other team.
Yeah, seeing how we were playing in the playoffs, it's just like it was just a lot of ISO ball. It was like if we're gonna play like that, like, well then all right, you might as well get Durant if that's the way we're gonna play.
Exactly.
But I was thinking more of like when you look at him with the Warriors, is like a lot of ball movement. He had more open shots than ever before. So it's like obviously with that, like Tatum, Brown having the ball, like I think he'll just get more spot up shots. And I think he would just fit into that really well. So that's why I was like, I would love for him to come to Boston. I don't think it's going to happen, but with that trade, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't, especially if you're the Suns. Like, you get a point guard who you've needed since Chris Paul left.
You get an expiring contract with Porzingis.
I go, obviously, if Porzingis like can be healthy as the stretch 4, stretch 5, like that'd be big. And then, I mean, they might probably want Hauser just for like shooting off the bench, which is why I kind of mentioned him. And then obviously you get 2 first-round picks. Now, obviously, how those first 2-round picks turn out, but like I don't think that's a terrible trade.
For me, just to address, listen, you guys know, Celtics fan all the way as well. Would I like to have Kevin Durant? Of course. The trade I would make, obviously, Porzingis has to be in it. And you know how it is when they make a trade. There are teams that just want expiring contracts because that's the amount of money that'll be for cap space. So that would make sense for the Suns. I would throw in Drew Holiday. I'm not touching, obviously, you're not touching Tatum and Brown. I don't want Pritchard gone. I definitely do not want Derek White gone. So I would throw those 2 in whatever scenario, like you all said, you add the pieces from both ends to make it whatever it is comparable to the money value. I would do it. But as far as what the team's KD prefers, I think he would be best suited for the Spurs. You've got Wemby, who's a young and up and coming, basically can become arguably the face of the NBA. Arguably, you've got Stephen Castle, who just won Rookie of the Year. So you have your point guard for the future. You've got De'Aaron Fox, who, will give you 20, 25 plus points on a regular basis. But they just need, I think Kevin Durant will fit that role where, besides spreading the ball, opening up the court, Wemby down low one-on-one, more than likely, when he decides to leave, those other players have gotten the experience that they needed. And even by the time he ends up leaving, they probably would have already won an NBA title, because he's going to be there for at least 2 more years. And they're capable of basically going from not making the playoffs to, it's not conceivable to finish in the top 4 at the very least to get home field advantage in the first round. I think out of those 3 teams, he just wants to go to Miami Beach. All right, let's just cut to the chase. All right, who doesn't? So get them out of there. They're not a fit for him outside of the weather. I think he fits perfectly with the Spurs. But my number 1 choice would be the Celtics, Mr. Durant. And I did call you Mr. Durant out of respect for obvious reasons.
The Spurs also have the number 2 pick.
Do you see what I mean? Thank you for pointing that out. I literally forgot about that. That's also a little bit, that's icing on the cake as far as I'm concerned. That's what that is. And I would like to know what that's like. We don't know what that's like, but we got to make some moves ourselves, to be honest with you, because
we knew what that was like when it came to the Nets picks.
When you win chips, you don't get that first round pick.
I think he just disconnected.
So he says Timberwolves. Now, obviously, we want to be in, dreamland. Who do you think out of those teams that he actually wants?
Oh, for Durant?
Yeah.
I think he'd probably want to go to the Spurs just for the fact that, Wemby, De'Aaron Fox. I don't think you could go wrong with either the Rockets or the Spurs, though. I'd probably want to go to the Spurs, but I feel like, I don't know. When you look at the Rockets as already a 2 seed, and then you add in a Kevin Durant, they are better all around. I would say defensively too. And Durant is no slouch. Like he can when he needs to. He can step up. But yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with either two. And then there's an echo again.
yeah, it's not letting me.
Now this article I'm reading, they mentioned the Timberwolves and the Knicks.
Yeah, I hear the Knicks kind of all the time when it comes to Durant ever since he was leaving OKC.
Hey guys, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah,
but we still hear the echo from your side.
Yeah, it's not letting me cancel the echo, unfortunately. I don't hear the echo, so I don't think it would be recorded.
I don't know. It's pretty annoying from my end.
So you still hear it?
Yeah.
How do you guys want to handle this?
I don't know. Are you able to leave and come back?
I'm going to see if I can come back. Hold on.
This would be really unfortunate.
I know.
When you come in, say that you're not using headphones.
Yeah. I don't know if he caught that. He might have left too quick for that. It's definitely from his end.
Yeah, it's when you join, you can choose either one of those, and then it usually takes care of it.
But I think the Timberwolves would be a really interesting spot for Durant, because like obviously Anthony Edwards is he's a huge Durant fan, like that's his dude, and then they had a little like friendship bond thing at the Olympics, so I think that'd be really interesting.
He was like his idol growing up, didn't he? Right?
He was literally his idol. He was following him around at the Olympics like a little brother. It was kind of funny. Yeah, the clips of that.
You have chemistry like that right off the bat.
Yeah, I think that's probably where he'd want to go if like he really had to pick somewhere.
Yeah,
would be the Timberwolves.
Hey, we good?
I don't hear the. Yeah, so
we're good.
We just mentioned a little.
Now that hopefully means Sorry for the technical difficulties, but welcome to the world of technology. We don't have any much of a choice. But I was hearing you guys regarding the Knicks coaching search. Have
Well,
they hired anyone that already has a job?
No, what we were talking about is Durant, like how there's always been Knicks talks of Durant since like him leaving OKC, and how we quickly just mentioned how it'd be interesting if he were to go to the Timberwolves because of the friendship that him and Anthony Edwards have. How I feel like honestly he might really want to play there for that reason. That's kind of what we left off on.
especially what they did this year in the playoffs.
I think he doesn't want to go back to the Knicks. Something about he wanted interest at the beginning, and then all of a sudden, the Knicks said they weren't interested in him, and now all of a sudden that they are, or that they're not right now. I'm not really sure. I don't think that there's any interest from the Knicks.
They're all over the place. They don't know what they want to do.
Listen, Keith, tell my son, tell your nephew that welcome to the world of the Knicks since we were younger. Since we were kids. This is just the way this organization has been. They have their moments. Don't get me wrong. They have their great moments in the spotlight, but they find a way to say to themselves, what can we possibly do next to remove ourselves from the spotlight because we don't want it anymore. We want to look like fools on national TV. So that's what I think about the Knicks, to be honest with you. I haven't really heard, and as far as Durant and the Knicks, I personally, it's not going to happen. I haven't heard anything much about Giannis. We all know he's a free agent. Durant is not the biggest prize as far as free agency, clearly, because he's still on the contract with Phoenix, the Phoenix Suns. But I think Giannis is a bigger story. I there hasn't been any mention in regards to where exactly he wants to go or who wants him. He's another piece I wouldn't mind replacing for Porzingis. But before that happens, you have to find suitors. At this point, I'm willing to just trade picks. I'm willing to do that and take whatever expiring contract to make it happen. You think Giannis would be a fit for the Celtics?
For them in my opinion, for them to get rid of Giannis is similar to when Orlando messed around with Shaq and let him go.
Yes.
That to me, that's a mistake. If you let him walk or you trade him or you do whatever, it's a mistake in my opinion.
Yeah,
that franchise is going to be set back. God only knows for how many years, potentially even a decade or change. I have no idea. Because I don't think any superstar is going to want to go to Milwaukee as a free agency to replace Giannis. That's just not going to happen.
He's the only draw for that team.
He is the draw. He's the guy. He's where he defines where Giannis goes and plays. Everybody wants to go and play. I mean, watch him play. So I'm not really sure exactly where he will be, but that'd be interesting.
Yeah, he's definitely the bigger draw. It's just like I don't really know what like his mark. Like he's gonna be so much like a team is gonna have to give up, and it's like I don't know if I want the Celtics doing that because like we are already a championship team, and it's like I don't know how I feel about 4 picks and like I don't know.
Well,
but if the Bucks are willing to just give them away for a can of beans, then all right. I mean, hey.
Well, just remember one thing though. When a free agent decides to go to another team, they're only going to get 4 years versus with the team they're leaving is 5 years. So that's.
I don't think that's much of a difference to players.
It's not money wise. Personally, I think he's staying in Milwaukee. I don't know why. I think
he likes the idea of the small market team.
I do too.
I think he loved when they won the title. I think he's just hoping that they can do something else. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe he's like thinking, if Damian Lillard can just stay healthy, like we have a shot.
I know. Exactly. I don't know about you, but I personally would like to hear directly from the Bucks head coach. I'm just saying, I need to know how he feels about his team because we really haven't heard much from him, quite frankly. I know he was hired under chaotic situation, so to speak, that I think the organization created. But Coach Rivers, tell us what's going on. What is the approach towards Giannis? What is the health situation with Damian Lillard? And where do the Bucks go from here?
Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you for letting me come on the show again. It's been a while. I'm under a gag order. I'm not allowed to even speak about this topic. You want me to lose my job again, don't you, Efren?
No. We Coach Rivers, you want us a title. Okay, you want us a title. Hey, we're on your side. So
okay.
I'm on your side, buddy. I'm not the one making all those comments. You know better than that. We've had you on the show before.
Like I'm still in the Celtics organization because I'm dealing with a player with an Achilles injury. You guys have a player with an Achilles injury. What's happening here? It's like a planets are aligning or something, and maybe I need to come back to Boston. I don't know. Would you take me back? I don't know. I'll bring Giannis with me. How about that? That's the deal that needs to be done.
I have a deal for you. You can go coach at UMass. Take it or leave it.
Oh, there's your biggest critic.
Or Boston College.
Oh my God!
Wow, you hit me right below the belt there. All right. Whoa.
Listen,
okay,
Coach.
Anyways,
I mean, honestly, you could keep coaching in Milwaukee. I mean, you haven't really had much success lately.
Oh,
I mean, if I lose Giannis, I have no chance to even get off the bus in one piece.
If you care about Boston, influence the front office to trade Giannis to Boston, and then come. Then you can come coach for us.
Can I at least come back as an assistant coach?
Sure. I had no problems you coming back as an assistant coach. We're good, Coach Rivers. You know better than that at this show here.
Okay,
you're always welcome.
And I'll keep my son away from the team because I've tried to help him as much as I can. I can't do it anymore.
But listen, your son is also welcome on our show. You know that. Whenever he's available, once he's not doing his NBA analyst job over at ESPN, he could always join us whenever he has an opportunity.
Okay.
There you go.
Know that, and I'll be there soon with Giannis.
All right. To everybody, hey, thanks, Coach, for stopping by. We appreciate it. Oh man, I mean, as far as just to finish it off, I mean, as far as the Bucks, if they I think we all agree, if Giannis leaves, there is no more Bucks organization for the next 10 years minimum.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. I'll leave it at that.
They'll be set back just as much as Orlando did when they got rid of Shaq.
Exactly, and Keith, you and I both know. I don't know how I'm about exactly, but you and I both know Magic was set back. They were irrelevant at some point until Tracy McGrady came around.
But everything fell apart. Penny Hardaway started getting knee injuries, and
he left. Remember, he left for Phoenix.
Yep.
It was probably till they got Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard was huge at that moment. That was a nice fling for a moment. So exactly. But the biggest trade in the NBA, though, that occurred this past week was Desmond Bane. From the Grizzlies to go to the Magic. A lot of people may not say that that's not a blockbuster trade, but when you hear the contract involved and the players involved, it is a blockbuster trade. Last year, this year that Desmond Bane finished was his first year of a 5-year deal for about $198 million. That was a max contract for him. This year, he averaged over 19.6 rebounds and 5 assists a game. The man shot. Last year, for him, he shot 48% field goal, 39% from 3, 89% from the free throw line. So you're not getting a scrub. And in return, they got Caldwell Pope, Cole Anthony, and 4 unprotected first-round picks. And one of them is this year's first-round pick. Some people think that they overpaid, but one of the explanations that was said, the reason they threw in a couple of more first-round unprotected picks is for them to have taken the contract of Caldwell Pope because he still has 2 years, $43 million remaining. And right now, just the way he's been playing, he hasn't been playing to the level he did when he was with Denver. right now they're considering the contract a bust. I don't know what everyone thinks. If that's the reason, so they can take their contract, so they're able to go ahead and build around Pangero and Wagner. What do you think about the trade? Was it too much? Not I think it was great that they got Desmond Bain, but what they gave up, was it too much?
It's a good pickup, but like, nah, he's not worth 4 first-round picks. I don't care. There's no way 4 first-round picks for Desmond Bain, and just so you can like take on Caldwell Pope's contract. Like, no, it's not.
It's not just Zach. It's not just first round picks. They're unprotected.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Rudy Gobert wasn't worth it. You know,
Yeah, they traded 4 round picks.
I think 3. He's not worth it. Like, Paul George was like 4 back then. He wasn't worth it. Like, you're talking like best at best. If you're gonna give up 4, almost half a decade worth of first round picks, come on, man. It's not worth it. Now, I think they'll be good next year. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not. That's your future, bro.
Keith, what do you think?
Not for a guy that only averages 19.2 points a game, 6 rebounds. I mean, that's a lot.
Bro, you got to be SGA or something, bro.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I agree with you, Zachary. He's a solid player. He plays both ends of the court. So, and I'm not saying, but I think, if they wanted to get rid of the contract, that's fine. But I agree. It's just that 4 number. That 4 number is just 2. Okay, just to do that and to take Caldwell Pope's contract. But 4, it's a little bit excessive. And no disrespect to Desmond Bain, but not for a player of his caliber. For like the first 4 round picks, man, you're gonna need to give me Kevin Durant.
I'll sum it up like this: it's still the ripple effect. Orlando trying to recuperate from the Shaq debacle. After all these years,
Wow,
they're still trying to get
wow
up there.
Zachary, you're not buying it, are you? You're not buying it, huh?
I mean, not that, but don't get me wrong. Like, sure, Caldwell Pope didn't play that well, but like, he's still been a huge role on 2 championship teams. So it's like he has 1 bad year, and you're gonna just be like, oh, contract now. Well, like, first off, you gave him the contract, if I'm not mistaken.
True.
And he's been a contributor on 2, not 1, but 2 championship teams. So it's like, so you're gonna give up 4 first-round picks just so they can eat that contract? I mean,
we're talking about just $43 million. That's it. So it's not like it's. I get it. For him, $21 million a year and change for him, it's a lot. I get that. But again, in today's market,
it's really not even that crazy nowadays. Like, it's really not.
That's
not the best. It's not breaking the bank nowadays. Like, Drew Holiday's getting 30. Like.
Exactly. What was it? I believe Derek White, a 4-year, 120 something. I believe he's getting 30 as well. So, I mean, I'm not trading 4 guys for a player of that caliber. I'm not giving you 4 unprotected picks, meaning that you don't even have a chance to get it back at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. They're all his. I mean, I'm sorry. They're all those 4 picks that now belongs to that team and organization. So, but I'm personally not going to do that. Just to finish up on the NBA side of it, you have a real small signing, Steve Adams. I think I told Zach so many times. I've always liked them, but the Rockets said to give him a 3-year extension for $39 million, $13 million a year. But somebody like that, a big body, I'm okay with them giving them that kind of money, coming in there, clogging it up in the middle and giving up 6 fouls when you need it, and plus he's actually a good teammate to have around, especially around these young guys, and gives good leadership. So a 3-year, 39, that was actually a nice re-signing of the Rockets. I got no problems with that kind of money, them being given it to him though, and he's a nice piece to them though, to a young team. Outside of that, in the NBA, I'm sorry, Keith, go ahead.
Don't forget the Lakers were sold for $10 billion.
Sold or is up for sale?
No, they were sold.
Oh, so it's official? I mean, obviously, provided, obviously they got to go through the protocols of the NBA's owners signing off on it and all that.
Right.
But besides it being official in that manner, they were sold.
Yeah, I guess it's not official yet, but that's the number. Yep. But I don't think it's official. Like you said, I think they probably just have to. I mean, they're talking like it's.
No, it is a sale. No, it's sold. It's in the process of kind of finalizing it or talking about it, what the terms of the contract is. But it looks like it has been sold for 10. Yeah. Buss family to sell the Lakers valued at $10 billion.
To Mark Walter.
Right. So the Lakers, for the time being, has been sold to someone else. I don't think Ms. Buss. I don't think it was run. I don't want to say run. It's just bad decision makings ever since for a long time. And why? I mean, outside of the 2020 year that they won, everyone knows how I feel about that year anyway. But outside of that, there really hasn't been anything talked about the Lakers outside of LeBron. So I'm not really sure where this is going to go
Isn't
from
all
there.
coverage though good coverage?
Say that again.
I said, isn't all coverage good coverage though?
Always.
So technically, you have LeBron on you're the Lakers. I mean, you're bringing media, you're bringing money in regardless, and then you bring in Luka. You know what I mean?
And then obviously LeBron is the attraction, but because he's the attraction, but not for the rings,
I don't think
he's
they
not,
care about that. They just want to make money.
He just wants to make money. He wants to now all of a sudden in his podcast now with Steve Nash. By the way, JJ Redick, you're being cheated on. You may want to tell LeBron that you and him need to go to counseling. I'm not judging. I'm just saying I want your relationship between the both of you not to be in a static mode. Considering the fact that your face of that franchise currently feels that we're making too much of a ring culture. And I find it funny that he says that we're putting too much emphasis on that. I mean, I get it because in my opinion, it's because he will never reach the Jordan legacy. He's not catching up to him because the team that has been assembled around the Lakers is not a championship caliber team. Number one. Number two, you're now figuring out that, man, I may only have a year or so left potentially, and I'm not going to reach to that legacy status. So now you want to minimize the ring culture. Last time I checked, like everybody else is saying out there, why'd you leave Cleveland in the first place if you didn't want to win championships? Once you won your championships in Miami, you left because you thought you were big dog, and Pat Riley had to remind you that you are not the man in Miami. I am. I tell you what to do, not the other way around. So what does he do? He bounces back to Cleveland to try and win them a championship, because the city of Cleveland, up until that point, prior to the Cavaliers winning, I believe the city has not seen a championship from any of their major sports in 54 years. So with that being said, he gets a title. What does he do? He moves on to LA for what? To win more titles. But now he wants to say we're making too much talking about how, what? You can't now talk about Charles Barkley in that category. You can't talk about who else? And I'm just mentioning names that did not win titles. Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, Allen Iverson, John Stockton. So now all of a sudden the ring cultures is too much for him. When that's all you do, you're abandoning and bailing out on your teams that you're in to chase the titles. If that's what you want to do, I'm cool with it. But now you want to backtrack. It's okay, man. Get used to it. You're not reaching that legacy. So if you're gonna be playing, never to win rings, stay with LA. Have your son play one more year at college. Have him come into the NBA. You play with your second son, and then retire, and you're good to go. Because you're not now. You just told the rest of the NBA that you're not playing for titles. I mean, if anybody want to jump in and say I think it's different, then why would anybody want to play with them? You just basically told everybody indirectly why we playing for titles. Because it doesn't matter as much.
Well, I know, like, I'm sure he's heard the talk that, MJ has 6 and that, that's what a lot of people say, why he's better than him and everything. But so in a way, I think you're right. I think he's saying that because he knows he's probably not going to reach 6. And it's just when you try to belittle the what titles mean as far as your greatness, I think that's what he's doing.
What are your thoughts over there? I have to say it. What are your thoughts over there, Bronsexual?
I don't really care. I'm just ready to talk about the next topic. It's not worth me getting into anything, honestly. So, what are we talking about next?
Mr. LeBron, your fans have spoken. They have pleaded the fifth and no comment. And you're their GOAT. Shame on you. Our GOAT doesn't do that. But he doesn't also have to say it either. He knows he's. So with that being said, just real quick, the NBA Finals is 3-2. Thunder is up. Are we still saying? I know I said OKC 6. Keith, what did you say? You said the Pacers or the?
I said Pacers in 7.
Pacers in 7 still could happen. They just got to win Game 6. Zach?
I just had Thunder winning it. Period.
But
he doesn't give us.
But them winning 2 in a row, I mean, I'm kind of now be like, I don't know if that's possible. I mean, I'll still stick with my pick, but you got to win 2 in a row now.
Yeah, haven't they been winning back and forth? Like, has anybody won 2 in a row in the series? I don't think anybody has, right?
Thunder just won 2 in a row.
Oh, that's right. 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. So that just happened. You might end up winning 3 in a row. We'll finish it off here with the last one in the NFL that's been going on in here, which it hasn't really been much going on, but unfortunately, you have Shedeur Sanders driving over 100 miles an hour. I think one of you just said before the air was Zach Edey got caught doing the same thing as well. So, not really sure what else I can say about this situation when you're just drinking and driving. I mean, I guess Shedeur thinks that he doesn't have enough on his plate, so he just needs to add more.
Were they drinking? I don't even know if they were drinking.
I don't think so far, to the best of my knowledge, I don't believe they were. Unless I misread or it was brought up after I read the first article or so, I did not see anything about any drugs or DUI. Just strictly speeding. Because I think if there was any alcohol involved, I think they would have been arrested right there on the spot. But I don't think he was arrested. So, Keith, what do you want to chime in on this one?
Don't really have anything to chime in on them.
Other than, guys, just like I said, I think he just wants to add more than he really wants to, because I guess him blowing the interview wasn't enough. I just need more because I need more attention. And by the way, and the thing is, he's doing well in the OTAs, rookie minicamps. But he has shit when he's starting job. Now there's just not much of a setback. So, oh, I am.
Yeah, you're starting to. At least on my end, you're starting to break up.
Oh, okay. You're fine.
Is it me?
Keith?
No. I think it's Efren.
No?
Not now, you're not.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Keith, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do that. With that being said, I just want to thank everybody for today's show. We welcome any comments, suggestions in regards to the show. Just a real quick shout out to Tigo, Jason, Cheddar, and of course, got to mention Jack. Eventually, he's got to make an appearance. Everybody, those guys have prior commitments. As I always say, thank you, God bless, and good night. And in the famous words of Cheddar, cue the music.
That's for Jason.
He really does not like Aaron Rodgers, does he?
Nope.
I know the feeling, brother. We're all set, Keith.
Yes, sir.
Explain the knowledge that's applying, never guess it.
There we go.
Zach, the stats gang. To call you out, cross you over, it's a sure thing. I a cheddar, no one better, crazy knowledge. On point, talking pros down to college. Jack the Jack on the grind.